Hello and welcome to the first in a series of training videos for the Raven Black Application Analyzer. This video provides a basic introduction to the framework of the analyzer and various common features you'll find as you're working in the analyzer to perform various activities. This video is based on version 1.2.2 of the analyzer, and we'll release new videos as and when we change any aspects of the interface. To start with, you can invoke this application using a CSApp generic URL like this. This will work on any system. More commonly, we might invoke it from the admin menu or from any object in the system. So most objects will include on the function menu Open Application Analyzer, which will not only load the analyzer, but it will also mount the content associated with that object. So in this case it's a folder, and we've loaded that folder and all of the children below it. Just to take a quick look at the header of the tool, there's very little on the header. The icon will actually take you to the Raven Black web page. It also shows you, it's one of a couple places you can see the version. The server version here is 1.2.2.11, and you should have some version that starts with 1.2.2. Each version of the analyzer has a help menu. This help menu also gives you some of the information about launching the application, as well as all of the information I'm going to go through here today. There's a settings menu that currently only includes the ability to go into dark mode or light mode. And the final thing on this header is that if you click on the title, it will reveal the classic content suite header in case you want the ability to navigate elsewhere in the system. The analyzer doesn't currently support working in the Smart View environment. That's partly because it's a pretty complete environment in itself, and surfacing it in a widget doesn't really help with the use of it. Typically, people will use the analyzer in this mode, and we'll continue looking at it from here. The next thing to look at is the left panel, which is referred to generally as the Finder panel. In this panel, whatever we're analyzing or looking at will be mounted. The term mounted refers to having any object or a set of objects in this panel. Anytime you want to mount an object, if you see this little thumbtack or drawing pin icon, that allows you to mount an object in this panel. You'll see those often elsewhere in the inspection panel. For example, here we could mount the Enterprise simply by clicking on that icon. And from there now it's loaded in the left panel. In the left panel, when you have a set of objects, if there are child objects, you can open up and drill down through multiple levels of whichever object you have mounted. In here you will see icons and titles and things like that, and as you mouse over, it will also show you how many dependents, how many children, and how many levels deep the tree is. When you have a set of objects mounted like this, you can also filter. So as you start to type in the filter, it will whittle down to whatever objects match up with whatever you've typed. So it's a great way for looking for objects within a particular mounted group. As you step through and mount different objects in this Finder panel, so I've just gone into a couple of other objects here, you can get back to previous aspects. So that's whatever was listed in this panel before. Additionally, as you click on and inspect different objects, this back icon will also show you previous selection as well as previous aspect. So you can step back through which objects you selected, as well as going backward to previous aspects. The term aspect is particularly used when we go to this menu here, which allows us to select a variety of different slices of the system to show in the Finder panel. So for example, we can search for objects and we'll get a collection of objects that have some common search criteria. System Browse allows us to go and look at volumes that we can browse in a traditional folder type manner. CS Applications shows us all of the applications that have been defined on this system that we can then mount and inspect. And there are several other aspects. For example, we can look at all the perspectives on the system that have Web Reports widgets, all of the ActiveView overrides, and so on, and including my favorites and my recent items. This bottom section here is used for any customized aspects. You can create a live report or a search in a particular folder and you will have customized aspects here. So if you want a different grouping of objects, you can create your own. Once you've loaded a particular aspect, in this case I'm going to show one where we mount a web report which builds a software tree of web reports, sub-web reports, and other software calls. The icon here that says Graph View allows you then to view those objects in this tree type graph. From here you can expand and look at sub-objects. It also provides a way to see whether these are sub-web report calls or client requests. That has some bearing on your troubleshooting. From here, as you click on any of these objects, they will load in the inspection panel as they did in the other mode. You can go pick different levels of opening automatically, and you can zoom in or out from here. So that's all the basics of the Finder panel. Now I'm going to look at the inspection panel. As the name implies, this is where we can look at all of the information for a given object. You can collapse all of these sections, which will give you an idea what's there, and then by clicking on one you can open it up and look at the data for any given section. Some sections will have an expansion icon on the right-hand side. Clicking on this opens a full screen with a fuller set of data. In some cases, it will simply show you more data. So for example, audit events, this can show up to 100 events. In the case of constants, it shows you something slightly different. And that's the case for a few of these. So basically, you get a full screen with more information in it. Some inspection panels will show you another tab, in this case content. So when you're looking at a web report, you can click on content and see the content of that web report. We discussed this editor and how to use it in a different training video. You will also find other tabs. For example, if you're looking at a CS app, you will have audit report and documentation there. These could be any features that are appropriate to a given object that warrant having a page of information like this. In addition to tabs, for each object you're looking at, you may find there are what we call internal features on a menu on the top right-hand corner. In this case here, these are some options that are unique to the analyzer and which are performing features or functions on a given selected object. In addition to internal features, we also have a menu here which is called CS links, and this is content server links. So for any object that's selected, you will have a set of functions that are appropriate to Classic Content Server. We also include, in some cases, the ability to open in Smart View. This is designed so that any functions that might not be built into the analyzer yet, things that you have to do within Classic Content Server as an administrator, can be accessed from this tool. When you select one of these items, it will open a new tab performing whatever function or taking you to whatever location you've requested from the analyzer. Finally, we have the ability to modify the sizing of these two sections. And in some cases, when we're looking at a particular tab, you'll see there's an expansion, so you can actually expand the entire page. That brings us to the end of this training video. We'll be dropping more videos in the future to cover other aspects of the Raven Black Application Analyzer. Please give us your questions, suggestions, or comments at the coordinates listed in this slide. Thank you.